Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here, and welcome to another review. And now I'm taking a look at Mortal Kombat for the Mega Drive, or Genesis if you're in the in North America. Now, I've already reviewed the Super Nintendo version. Although that was a fairly good port, it was flawed, and due to Nintendo's anti-graphic depictions of death policies and excessive violence, it had none of the blood that made the original arcade version so controversial. That same censorship has not plagued the Mega Drive version, although you do have to key in a code in order to be able to actually activate the gore. So you get the lie of the land, so to speak. So I'm up against film actor Johnny Cage. The animation's not as slick as it is in the Super Nintendo version. The graphics do look a bit grainy. The sound effects aren't as crisp as in the so you know the drill. You just got to beat up each opponent one by one, and if you can manage to pull it off, try and when you get the finish him or finish her, you try and do a fatality and to finish them off in style and get a fatality bonus. Yeah. Doesn't quite have the that sound effect's not that great. What kind of sound effect is that for his lightning bolts? Quite funny when I was Sub-Zero fighting against Johnny Cage earlier, but both characters were actually done by the same real life person, Daniel Pesina. Yeah. I'm struggling to get his fatality to work with a 3-button controller. Yeah, couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do there. I was trying all the buttons and it didn't seem to do anything. But I don't particularly enjoy that test your might stage anyway. I think it's a bit crap actually. But yeah, the backgrounds in this version are a bit sparse. If you're used to the Super Nintendo version. Oh, that was a bit underwhelming. One more go.
Fight. Excellent.
Yeah, not really much more to say about it. Another thing I've noticed is that Shang Tsung, his head in the background doesn't follow you the way he does in the Super Nintendo version. He just stays looking blankly forward. And the floor isn't as well animated as in the Super Nintendo version either. But despite it being cruder than its other main 16-bit counterpart, this ultimately outsold the Super Nintendo version by some considerable degree, mainly, no doubt, because it has all the gore of the original arcade version. Oh, goodness me. Right, I think I've seen enough of that. So that's Mortal Kombat for the Sega MegaDrive, or if you're in North America, Sega Genesis. Can't say I'm hugely impressed with it. Whilst Sega fans were no doubt having a jibe at Super Nintendo users over the fact that if they knew the codes, they'd get to the game in all its gory glory, whereas the SNES version had to do without all that. But I wasn't that keen on the controls in this. The thing is, the base Mega Drive controllers only have 3 buttons, A, B, and C, whereas the Super Nintendo controllers as standards have 6 buttons, not counting start and select. Graphics, mostly okay, although they do look a bit grainy, and obviously they're not going to. The Mega Drive doesn't really have the same extensive colour palette of its Nintendo rival. Animation's okay, although there's some noticeable losses in background detail compared to what you saw in the Super Nintendo version as well. Yeah, and I think I noticed that some frames of animation are missing from everyone's standing fighting stances, and it's even got The Sub-Zero even uses Scorpion stuff for a standing pose of his fists behind his head. Originally he didn't do that, and even in the SNES version he doesn't do that. Originally Scorpion and Sub-Zero have markedly different fighting stances. So that could have been a means of saving space. The sound is... music's okay, although the sound effects are a little bit on the weak side, and some of the sound effects are a bit pants, really, such as Raiden's electricity maneuvers. And the speech samples aren't quite as crisp as in the SNES version either. They're a bit muddy, in fact. Gameplay. Well, I was finding the game. I was finding it playing it with 3 buttons in a game that normally has 5. I was finding that a bit of a chore, if the truth be told. So I just couldn't really get used to it, and God, that really does look a bit great. Yeah, so I got a bit sidetracked there. So yeah, ideally, if you want to, ideally you would have wanted to play it better if you had one of the 6 button controllers that did get to a release later on, especially when Street Fighter II Champion Edition came out for the Mega Drive. But even though this has all the gore that was missing from the Super Nintendo version, it's still a bit of an empty game. I mean, so what am I going to give this? I'm going to give this 7 out of 10, I think. It's probably okay in short bursts, but with even fewer characters than the original Street Fighter II, and the fact that all the characters do exactly the same things, and there's only 1 fatality per combatant, it's only going to be a matter of time before it becomes really stale. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.